Hello and welcome to the 28th episode of Williams Whiteboard. As I always do, I'd like to take a quick moment just to say thank you to all of you that have come by, watched the videos, liked, commented, and shared. I really appreciate it. So on this 28th episode, we're going to acknowledge and celebrate September. And we're going to talk about closing the books. Yes, at the end of the fiscal year, what are the things that are necessary to effectively close the fiscal year books in a contracting shop, team, or organization? So last week I had a training course with some very junior people in the craft. And during the question and answer open mic time, one of the class students asked, "What's all this stuff about end of the fiscal year?" They've been in the craft. They've been in the business probably about 6 or 7 months, started in the spring. It's like this fiscal year stuff. I don't get it. What's going on? What is it? How can we be effective at an end of the year close? I was like, oh, who paid you to ask that question? Okay, because September is the month that I love. Okay, it is really about all of the things that you've done all year, all of the magic, all of the activity that you've done to prepare for the magic to happen in September. So I'm going to give you 7 things that I think are effective or can be effective, an effective strategy for going into and then being effective at the end of the fiscal year. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, this is called closing the FY books. Okay? So, number 1, prep yourself. This is mindset, folks. Prep yourself. Make sure you're thinking about going into the fiscal year. This is really like working in Santa's toy shop in December. This is what we do. This is all the things we do, all the training and execution, all of that culminates and it is manifested in September. So you have to prepare yourself in going into September as something that we got to go after and we got to go make it happen. Okay. Number 2, good Q4s start in Q2. Okay. Good Q4s actually happen and start in Q2 from a standpoint of education, exposure, increasing your capacity of your work, of your team and your workforce, along with identifying long-range requirements that you want to pull forward as much as possible so that there is time to actually get that stuff done. Q4 is the finish line. Q2 is really the start line. So think about all the ways that good Q4s start in Q2. Number 3, rally the troops. Good Q4s are about leadership. It's about owning it, leaning into the requirements, leaning into what's at hand, what's at stake. And to rally the troops, you've got to get in front of the people and understand. You've got to articulate the vision of an effective Q4. You've got to articulate a vision of this is what we do. All the things we've done before to prepare, this is where we show our capability and prove and demonstrate our capability as an effective organization. Number 4, get and use good data. Okay. You have no idea what's happening if you don't have good data of what you have in the books, okay? And what you have coming, what's in the process, what's coming, and then the effective way to eat it off, okay? So you have to have good data. You have to identify someone or a team or a group that if they don't do that already, someone needs to be responsible of putting the goggles on and having good data, looking forward in terms of identifying what you have, identifying what's coming, and making sure there's an effective way to eat it off. Okay? Number 5, save space for falling rocks. okay? No matter how much planning you do, there will be the emergent requirement that shows up on August 30th, okay? Or September 5th, okay? Save space for that in terms of people, capacity, requirements, in the system, okay? Know where it's going. If something shows up that's $1 million that happens to be in this category, know who's going to take that, okay? And make sure all of your teams are aware. Save space for the thing that's coming. Work hard, work your stuff. Don't sit around twiddling your thumbs, but please understand something's going to fall out of the sky that we weren't prepared for, that we didn't know about. So identify your people, identify the skill sets that will be required, and make sure you save space for the falling rocks. Okay. Number 6, identify your off ramps. Okay. What are off ramps? Off ramps are those contracts or those agreements or those contract vehicles or even requirements that can take as many dollars as can fall out of the sky. Know what those requirements are. Some of those are likely service level agreements or things that you can buy by the drink, if you will. So if you got a big pot of money at the end, you can buy a lot of drinks. Okay, but identify those things early on. If you're going to have $500,000 left, know what requirement it can take $500,000. If you're going to have $5 million left, know what requirement can take $5 million. But have that suite of off ramps available so that on September 29th or the morning of September 30th, you can say plop, 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 and you're done. Have those set of off ramps that can take care of any dollars that will fall out of the sky, because they will. Number 7, and probably the most important from a standpoint of contracts leadership. Turn off the lights. Meaning, if you're the team leader, you're the organizational leader, director, administrator, you pick it. If you're the leader, you're the last one out of the building, okay? No matter what time that is, you're the last one out of the building. You turn off the lights. You have to be present. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to make sure that everything is going well. That is the responsibility of leadership, okay? So in the end, you turn off the lights, okay? I can distinctly remember over my career, it was 22 years before I took a day off in September. 22 years. Okay. And that 22nd year I was working in a program office. Okay. So every day is precious. And as a result of that, contracts leadership needs to be present and be able to, at the end, turn off the lights. This is Williams Whiteboard, and this is the concept of effectively closing out the fiscal year books, getting the dollars spent. Okay. This is where the magic happens. This is where we as a community turn straw into gold. Give me some ideas, thoughts, comments on this concept. Maybe there are some more. I welcome any contributions, but this is how the magic is made. And this is where reputations are cemented, okay? The winners and losers happen in September. And the strength of your organization depends on your capability to deliver value in getting the books closed effectively in September. All the best. And I always say, whenever you're working on a problem and you don't know what to do, grab a whiteboard and a few markers and get after it. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.